Hi, everyone. My name is Brian O'Connor. I'm joined today by David Glazier, and we're both co-leads for the Cloud Workstream. I'm going to tell you a little bit about the Cloud Workstream and what we're creating. The Cloud Workstream is focused on API standards that make it easier to send algorithms to the data. And what I mean by that is, as a researcher, there are many interesting data sets located all around the world. The traditional approach is to download those data sets to your local institution and to perform analysis at that institution. But as data sets are growing in size, it's making it less and less practical to be able to do that. So the new model going forward is that there are many data sets located in cloud environments all around the world. And those cloud environments are co-locating data along with compute. And by providing some common APIs across these environments, we really will enable scientists to send algorithms out to where the data resides without having to download it to their local institution to do their analyses. So how do we do that? What are the APIs that we're working on as a group to make that vision a reality? So at the lowest level, we're working with the Tool Registry Service, or TERS, and groups that implement that. This is an API that allows researchers to share their algorithms, to share tools and workflows with each other and also the systems that they're computing on. The next layer is the Workflow Execution Service, or WES. This service allows me as a researcher to take my tool or workflow and send it to a remote environment to actually perform an analysis or computation. Below the WES service is the Task Execution Service, or TESS. This is a service for performing individual steps in an overall workflow. And finally, the Data Repository Service is an API that allows systems to access data in a cloud agnostic or location agnostic way. So taken together, these APIs are key APIs for enabling this vision of sending the algorithm to the data. How do we actually make these APIs? How do we know that these are the right APIs to work on? Well, the answer is simple. We work with many, many different driver projects to develop, to enhance, to test, to implement, and also use these APIs in their day-to-day work and the work of researchers at their organizations. So as a work stream, we spend a lot of time and energy working with the driver projects in order to fulfill their needs. With that, I want to hand it off to David to talk a little bit about how this translates to our strategic roadmap for 2021.
Thanks, Brian. So Brian talked to you about the 3 green check marks that we have on our 4 core APIs, which was one of the big accomplishments of the years leading up to now. So what we're doing is to build on the initial launches of those core APIs. We have work in these 4 areas of continuing to work on the core APIs, growing the number of implementations of the APIs, making sure they work well together, and making it easier for more people to implement them. So on the next slide, I'll say a few more words about each. So around the core APIs, we have .0 versions that came out first. And as always, there's a set of backlog requirements and feature requests and a set of things we learned from our initial users. We've already released a 1.1 of DERS. We will continue to do that. We will keep listening to the new features, the enhancement requests that are needed to help people use these in production and add those features while also adding tests, the 4th of the APIs. On the second arrow, the deployments and implementations, the goal is now that we have a basic, good, solid set of APIs out there and they're implemented, let's enable more. Let's grow the number of deployments and implementations where people are using these, which leads directly to number 3. One of the things that we did towards the end of the last cycle of API release is realize it was now time to enable these APIs working together. So you could use each of the APIs linked with each other to build a system that solves something useful, and not just the cloud APIs, but the whole set of GA4 GH APIs. We put together this federated analysis group that's fast to both prototype and think through with our driver projects, how could they use all of the, a whole suite of GA4 GH APIs to solve real problems. That's already generated a lot of very useful feedback, which is turning into requirements and requests for the individual APIs. We will be incorporating that first round of feedback, and as that gets out there, expanding the use cases that we can solve with the integrated stack. And then finally, 4th, as the set of APIs, the set of use cases out in production, out solving real research problems grows, we want to make it easier for the ecosystem to keep growing with a deployment kit. And we already have a registry of implementations built on the service info technology that's becoming standard across all GA4GH APIs, and grow that registry so it's easier for people who have generated a new API to publish it and say, here it is, you're welcome to use it, here's what you need to know. And for people who want to use our APIs to find a directory of people who have implemented them and learn how to tap into that. So with that, what we plan to do over the next couple of days here at the plenary is get together as a work group at our working meeting and work on those 4 arrows that we talked about: updating the APIs, responding to feedback, prioritizing feature requests, refining our roadmap. You are all welcome to join. You can see the info below about time and the website where there's a lot more information on the details. Thank you very much.